Chapter 31. I have already given my answer to the problem. Its presupposition is that the Redeemer type is preserved for us only in extensive distortion. This distortion is very probable in any case for several reasons. Such a type could not remain pure, whole, free from accretions. He must show traces of the milieu in which he moved as a foreign figure, and even more of the history, the fate of the first Christian community from which the type was enriched retroactively with features which are comprehensible only in terms of later polemics and propaganda purposes. That queer and sick world to which the Gospels introduce us is in a Russian novel, a world in which the scum of society, nervous disorders, and childlike idiocy seem to be having a rendezvous, must at all events have coarsened the type. In order to be able to understand anything of it, the first disciples in particular first translated into their own crudity and existence, which was wholly embedded in symbols and incomprehensibilities. For them the type did not exist until it had been reshaped in better known forms. The prophet, the Messiah, the future judge, the moral teacher, the miracle man, John the Baptist, each another chance to misconstrue the type. Finally, let us not underestimate the proprium of all great and especially sectarian veneration. It blots out the original, often painfully strange features and idiosyncrasies of the venerated being. It does not even see them. It is regrettable that a Dostoevsky did not live near this most interesting of all decadents. I mean, someone who would have known how to sense the very stirring charm of such a mixture of the sublime, the sickly, and the childlike. A final consideration. As a type of decadence, the type might actually have been peculiarly manifold and contradictory. Such a possibility cannot be excluded altogether. Nevertheless, everything speaks against this. Precisely the tradition would have to be curiously faithful and objective in this case, and we have reasons for supposing the opposite. Meanwhile, there is a gaping contradiction between the sermonizer on the mount, lake, and meadow, whose appearance seems like that of a Buddha on soil that is not at all Indian, and that fanatic of aggression, that mortal enemy of theologians and priests, whom Renan's malice has glorified as le grand maître en ironique. I myself have no doubt that the generous dose of gall and even of esprit first flowed into the type of the master from the excited state of Christian propaganda. After all, the unscrupulousness of all sectarians when it comes to construing their own apology out of their master is only too well known. When the first community needed a judging, quarreling, angry, malignantly sophistical theologian against theologians, it created its God according to its need, just as it put into his mouth without any hesitation those wholly unevangelical concepts which now it cannot do without: the return, the last judgment, every kind of temporal expectation and promise.